I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Curling Stadium's production of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. My name's Jim Nix, and we are here at the Swift Current Curling Club in Swift Current, Saskatchewan for this A-Division matchup between Korey Dropkin of Duluth, Minnesota, and Mike McEwen from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Obviously, the favorites in this one, for a number of reasons, would be the McEwen team, and they're playing this game on sheet 2 right beside the on-ice seating, so they will have lots of fan support for this one. And it should be a good one. Both very, very good teams. 3A, not A finals, but games to get to the A qualifier games are going on right beside each other here in this afternoon's draw. Could be morning draw where you are, but afternoon draw here in Nova Scotia. So I think it's 11:15 or so in Swift Current. Still morning out there. We had a good crowd this morning, even for the early game. On ice seats were pretty much full. They're very tough characters out here in the West to handle that cold weather this early in the morning, and days that I understand are pretty cold outside. So we're 5 or 6 rocks in here, just getting going. Nose hit, a little roll here for the Dropkin squad. Nicely done. Andrew Stapera. Third for Team Dropkin. Paper, although it doesn't really look like we're that far into this end. I have to get a look here in a minute. Well, I guess maybe we are. Looks like appeal for McEwen. Well done. So looking to throw the guard back up. I'll get the lineup straight here in a minute. I think it's been a shuffle in this from what I have in front of me. Looks like Howell throwing third stones for Dropkin. Which is a very different lineup than I have. Nicely done, though. Perfect guard. McEwen, not much choice but to play the peel here. Try to run it back, get both of them. As we said, McEwen does have hammer in the first end. Marsh Brothers on the brooms. Be close to making this, and no, not quite. Colton Flash doesn't miss too many of those. So the guard going up again. Both teams at 1-0. They had the lucked out into getting the short section of the draw. One less game than some other teams. This one looks like it's going to be pretty good again. Interesting to see if McEwen decides to run the high one or run his own red. I don't think he can get through that hole. He might be able to. He thinks he can, obviously. Tough shot. Could throw it with just a little bit lighter weight, though. And if you ever chip the red, you might possibly be able to get one or both on the rings. Looking for about a hack weight shot. Yeah, I was going to rethink this a little bit. Or he could be just moving up so that Colton can see the broom a little bit better. Probably. Playing the angle raise takeout now. I'm still not 100% sure which the call was. I think that was probably the call. Never quite got to where they wanted it to get. Seemed a little disjointed on that shot as far as what they were playing and they wanted to do. But it does leave Dropkin a chance to go through that hole and sit two. Or go through the other hole and sit two, either way. Thomas Howell indicating that's where they want it to be. Well, it's a good idea. Let the sweepers know. I'm sure the skip will talk to them when they get down there. The thrower, if it's not the skip, will talk about it, but indicating exactly where he would like to see it end up. So much more to sweeping now than there was years ago when you just listened to exactly what the skip said and didn't really have to think too much. Now a whole lot more has to go into it, particularly since we've developed directional sweeping. Korey Dropkin. This one's staying out a little bit longer than they thought. It's going to have to bust really hard here to be okay, and it looks like it will. Might get a little rub. No, just the gentlest of rubs, just enough, though, to redirect that one into a very good place for Team Dropkin. So it looks like McEwen's going to play the angle raise as well. I don't think there's an opportunity for him to get both yellows. It doesn't look like it from here, at least. So get one, leave it, maybe sit behind the corner or one of the corners, the corner or the center. So leave it behind a guard somewhere. And you still may have a chance to get a couple. Mentioned McEwen was 1-0 so far, defeating Van Amsterdam 6-1 earlier. On its way. Flash getting on it now. Used to curl a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure if that had a possibility of getting more than that or not out of it. It looked like that was all they were going to be able to get to me. I thought they didn't think the chance to make the double was really there, but may have been. So Mike McEwen should have a pretty tough shot to score here. You see the crowd and the seating, the outside seating. Not too many bonspiels and curling clubs around that they have seating on the ice right from the very first draw on. And there's been full pretty much every time. They've done now, 4 or 5 games so far in this event, and it's been pretty much full every time. It's quite a conversation going on. So when you're playing teams like Mike McEwen and these guys that can throw run back so well, your mind has to be so active and thinking about so many different shots. Most of the time you wouldn't think about, for you or I, most of the time we wouldn't think about having to protect against that angle raised takeout on the red that's over there on the left. You just naturally throw some kind of a guard in front of this red rock that's in the house or so and figure that was pretty good. But here you got to think a little bit more than that. Can he make the angle raise? Does it fit? Will it work? I don't know. Looks like he's going to go in turn. Protecting a little bit against a double run. I'm not exactly sure where he wants his stone because I feel like he has to take away the long raise. Being the first end, it's not, wouldn't be a big deal for McEwen to give that a try, even it seemed quite difficult. If there was no real easy chance to score one, I could easily see him say, well, we'll take a chance of giving up one in an effort to make a multiple score. Kind of looked like they wanted to corner freeze the red on this, but not too sure what that does for you. We're still going to just get this by that high guard on the outside. And they will do that this time, very close to the same as last shot. That should do it, I think. Cold Flash sees the possibility of something better. Maybe looking at a blank end possibility. McEwen looking hard at this. I don't know. So the options are if you can, if they're there. I'm just not can't quite tell on this angle whether or not they're there or not. But options would be to go through that port and try to make the double on the yellows, which might be for 2 if you can get close to the nose. The more or less straight back run back on the reds for 1. But with that ice, it appears he might be throwing a little bit harder than that. So he would drive this a little bit off the yellow that's beside it and back onto the red with the intent of scoring or blanking. So a few options. We'll see in a minute if one of them works. So a little bit tough to see on this picture, at least, what happened there. McEwen looks happy, so he must have scored or blanked. Let's see what happened.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you going.
So we're back here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. So as I said, so we're back in Swift Current for the second end in our game here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown, A-Division game. The other A-Division games going on right now beside this game are the Reed Crothers and Matt Dunstone are playing on sheet 3 right beside us. And on sheet 4, Brad Jacobs is playing John Epping. All 3 games are A-Division, sort of A-Division semifinal qualifier games, if you will. The winners of these games move on to A qualifying games. And the losers will drop down into B and have to win probably another game or so to get to that position. So McEwen, although we didn't see it very well because we are fighting a few technical issues and we apologize for those and we're working hard to try to get those fixed as soon as we can. Didn't really get to see the end of it, but McEwen did end up getting one, so well done to make that happen. Daniel Marsh is the lead for Team McEwen. And brother Kevin is the second stone. This was Kevin throwing his rock into the top of the 12-foot. Dropkin looking to maybe make a hit and a roll. Use that corner guard. This is going to, will it hang around? It does hang around. So didn't get the exact roll he wanted, but at least it stayed. Makes McEwen play it. McEwen team has had a pretty good year so far. Very nicely done. Dropkin now looking to come around that. Very aggressive call. Just keep wiggling the broom over his half an inch or so as a skip. I can appreciate that. Somebody should put the broom down. And hopefully you think of that before the guy's in his delivery. But it has happened when the guy's in the middle of the delivery where you're thinking, oh, man, I got 2 inches too much ice here. I should have moved it. So Stupera, the second stone for Team Dropkin, looking to come around. They're just going to come around, sit on the corner of the red one. Well, almost to the nose of the red. Bit of a dilemma for McEwen. He's got 2 rocks, but they're two rocks counting, but one's behind a corner guard and one's just wide open on the other side. So no real steal potential yet, but where do you go here? Got a lot of just shrugs, hand shrugs, or whatever you call it at this point, as to what he should do. It's a very strange situation, really. We're in the middle of the second end, and it just feels like it shouldn't be this hard. But Mike Vonnie settled on one. He settles on a semi-center guard, just a little bit off the center line. Rock being delivered by Colton Flash. And looks like it's going to end up pretty much with what they called. Curled maybe a little bit more than they would have liked. And this is a very tough looking shot. Looks like they're going to play the out-turn hit, which I think they could probably only see maybe half a stone, and hope to stay. He's working hard on this. He might have a great shot here. Not a ton of weight, but pretty good effort. Moved it over where doubles is a possibility. Flash looking to hit and roll behind that corner again. And it's going to roll over by the other two red ones as well. So an interesting change of events here, despite the fact McEwen's sitting 3. Dropkin looking like there's a possibility of creating something here where it didn't really look like that a minute ago. That out turn takeout turned out to be a good thing. I thought it was a awkward call because it just looked like it was not really there to get it out and stay, and it didn't quite get it out, but did manage to hang around. Looking for a double here on the reds, the two highest reds. Got a curl, has to curl a little more yet. Got a couple of them, not the two they'd exactly planned on getting, but really hoping to hit that, make the double on the higher one here that's on the back of the button and stay right there. Although he did throw a ton of weight. But he was looking to set number 1, number 3 probably at that point, and not quite there. You'll note that one of the Flash brothers does hold the broom for Mike. Colton Flash, or not Flash brothers, Marsh brothers. Colton Flash is just such a strong sweeper and just powerful sweeper, and they don't want to lose that. So he does sweep for the back end shots, for Mike's shots, rather than hold the broom. I'm not sure which brother is which. They are identical twin brothers. I'm sure there's a way to identify, but I don't know what it is yet. I'm trying. This one's got to go. Gonna be quite light. It does make the one at the back, the redstone at the back, accessible. With the curl they get, you can probably get right to the nose of this if you wanted. I think if you were to hit this and roll open on the left side, right there where he just tapped his broom, that would be the perfect spot. Make it very difficult for McEwen to avoid giving up 2. Korey Dropkin himself plays out of the Broomstones Curling Club in Wayland, Massachusetts. He's originally from South Peterborough in Massachusetts. Petersboro, I should say. These guys are from a little bit all over the place, which we can certainly relate to in this country now, where most teams are composed of some, at least one person that's not from the area that they live or reside in. Going hard in this. They got to get this by. Got to get it by. He will squeak it by. We get it out, and he'll get it out to boot. So, well done. I think I have to assume so. He didn't throw very hard. Maybe he was happy with the ending there. I thought they would want to roll away there, but they didn't have much choice. They went as hard as they could go and couldn't really do any more than they did as far as rolling away from there. This works out really well as long as Mike McEwen doesn't make the good freeze in here. And that's the problem. Usually these guys do end up coming up and taking the end away from you a little bit. Very good shot by Mike McEwen. Dropkin can probably get it. You can probably see all of an inch or an inch and a half of it. Doesn't have a lot of choice but to go after it in some way. It's just a matter of whether or not you try to move it out of play or not. You could throw weight at it and just pick it. I'm not sure on the back one. I think the back one would be, let me restart. Let me start over that. I think the front yellow one would be closer than the back red, but we don't have an overhead down there right now. So just kind of guessing a little bit. He's not going with weight. He's just going with enough weight to move it back and out of play. If you can do this, you can certainly score two, at least two. It's close, really close. Can he get enough of it, though? Will he get enough to move it out? Hall's on it. Looks like one yellow, judging by the broom tap. So it appears that Dropkin will have picked up one here and tied this up at one after two ends of play at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown and Swift Current Curling Club. We'll be back after the break.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again? Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Swing number 3 here in our A-Division game between McEwen and Dropkin. Pretty sure we're tied up at 1 here. And we are. So McEwen with hammer back now here in the third. And interestingly enough, going in the rings. Seen this a little bit lately. Most of the time we're used to the corner guard going up. Lead Mark Fenner for Team Dropkin. Be asked to remove this one. A little bit of a roll towards the center. Be Daniel Marsh. Remove it and roll back out to where it was a minute ago, or almost out there. Dropkin looking for the hit and stick. And this one may roll out. No. Mike used the skip sweep of about 18 inches, and it's not going out, he figures. Looking at whether or not to play the peel double, or just play the hit at the back. Bit of an odd end. Far enough long to be able to hit this now. So if you were to make this double, pretty safe to assume it'll be just a series of takeouts until Mike will attempt to blank on his last one, but see if he makes it first. In the neighborhood. Not quite, not going to come up quite enough. So an opportunity for Dropkin to maybe split the house, or he's going to go back up here. Perhaps thinking, well, if he can keep McEwen up there peeling off guards a little bit longer, he maybe can split the house and not have to do that for 4 or 5 shots. You might be able to get away with splitting the house for 1 or 2 and forcing McEwen to 1. That's a lot of ifs, but so this time McEwen's going after the back one. This will be Kevin Marsh. His second stone here in the third end. Looks like he's going to be right on the nose, and he will. Working hard on this. Got to hold it. Looking for a little bit of a roll. And we'll get a pretty good little roll. Kevin's going to play the same, just tappy weight. And a nose hit for a flash. He's just waiting, seeing if somebody blinks somewhere along the way here. Working hard to get this one over. And they will. Can they get a little bit of an inside flop? It looks like he might. He did. Actually rolled a hair too much. Weight was light enough that Korey had to get back and make sure he could sweep it out. So he's positioning himself for that a little bit before he saw the roll. Otherwise, they might have been able to hold off. And flash will roll out a little bit, which probably would be the best thing for McEwen. This is definitely not a typical third end in a game involving teams of this level. Just nobody really wanted to make a move in this end. That's fine. McEwen figuring that if he can blank this end, get to the fourth with hammer, pick up a couple in the fourth, and maybe put a bit of a hold on this game. Korey Dropkin. This one's going to roll as well. Not quite. It's very tough. It's tough to get the perfect roll here. It's not, well, it's tough to get the perfect roll no matter where you're playing, but it just seems that seeing these teams just seem to have a little more trouble making that perfect roll than I would expect them to have, given that they're the best there is around. Whoa, big mess there for Mike McEwen. You don't see that very often. I would hesitate to guess when I would have last seen Mike McEwen miss a takeout. But he did miss one here. So an opportunity for Dropkin to put some pressure on. Go right around the guard as you see where Thomas Howell's broom is. Full 4 foot buried behind the guard. It's what they're looking for. So Dropkin has it on the way. Stopera and Fenner on the brooms. This one will move hard here. That's a great shot. Great shot by Korey Dropkin. I don't think it went too deep. It looks like it's just above the button. McEwen with no choice really but to play a draw. And from what it looks like right here, it looks like he probably needs to be on the button or a piece of the button at least to score. Certainly has to be pretty darn close to it at least. So this looks pretty good. And the rooms go up, so McEwen makes that one. Takes a 2-1 lead after 3 hands of play here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in beautiful Swift Current, Saskatchewan. And we are at the Saskatchewan Swift Current, I should say, Curling Club. And we'll be back after this break. And we are back. I had to step away there for a few minutes, do a little bit of work on the production side of things. Not me personally, of course. That would be dangerous. But the production team continuing to try to get a little smoother production going. So McEwen with the 2-1 lead here. And Dropkin with hammer here in the 4th. We'll be looking to score, love to score a couple at least. Dropkin looking to see what he wants to play here. Looks like probably peeling the 2 reds. Like to hit it right there. So that's where he'll put the broom. Anticipating no curl here. And very nicely done by Andrew Stapera. Got rid of the 2 guards. He's got corner guards galore, all his on the left-hand side of the sheet. And McEwen pretty much forced to hit the yellow that's in the 12 foot. So with 4 rocks each to come, Dropkin has definitely got some possibilities happening here. Korey Dropkin trying to figure out whether or not to go around the corner here. Looks like he will. Although maybe not. I'm going to rethink it. Thomas Howell coming down to have a chat. A little uncomfortable leaving that. You go around the corner guards. If you make it good, probably McEwen ignores it. Guards up this rock on the 4 foot. And will you even get a chance to score? Lots of conversation. I don't think there's a right or wrong here. It's just I really think if he goes around the corner, there's still no reason why he wouldn't do it. If he goes around the corner, that McEwen is probably going to play a guard on these ones in the house here. So it looks like they've decided not to try to make that shot. Try to hit this one. They might come back to that, but for now. Looking to make the double, I believe. Not quite. Worst part about that is it pushes it over to a place where certainly not going to roll. The good part of that is that if you come around the corner guards now, you will be shot over the red one in the E foot. McEwen's going to play the hit and long roll. Or maybe not such a long roll. So have to wait till he decides before we try to guess any further, I guess. Cold Flash has this one on sway. Throwing in turn, probably want to hit about a third of a stone. Maybe half. I can't really tell how far they are apart. And where will he go? Will he hang around? It doesn't look like it. Not quite. Great effort by Colton Flash, though, to make that. Dropkin now with an opportunity to come around the corner. So it took a while to get to this, but finally does get it without much risk either, which is a key. Want to be around the guard, but you do want to be above the tee line. Sneaks it by the guard. Looks like it's going to be pretty near perfect. Assuming he has shot rock, which it looks like it would be. It's a very nice shot. Another few inches might have been better just to make this run back a little tiny bit harder. But regardless, very good shot. McEwen now will try to make the double. This is going to curl too much, I think, and it will. So McEwen struggled a little bit. Hasn't thrown a lot of shots yet, but threw a really nice draw last end to score, which was a great shot. Had the one miss on the hit, the complete miss, basically on the hit, and that was for Mike McEwen. That was pretty much as easy of a double as you're going to get, and totally would expect to make that. However, he didn't. So Dropkin now with a chance to score a deuce here in the fourth, which would be a big score in the fourth end. Give him a 1 point lead after four and control of hammer in the even ends rather. Yeah, we have an overhead. It's awesome. So you can see by that, I was just going to say this actually, but now that we can see it, it makes more sense. Not necessary to play the takeout here. This is going to be a choice of Skip's choice, really. It's a lot of Skips here would just play the draw down to the red one or in the neighborhood of the red one and wouldn't bother playing the hit where you only have to roll, 18 inches or so to the left, rather, if we look at it, and it would be out of play. You definitely don't want to end up with that situation, but really it's like I say, Skip's personal choice here. So Dropkin throwing the out turn hit. Don't think he'll throw it very hard. It kind of looks fine. Thomas Hall just calling the sweep and looking for a nose hit. And that's what he'll have. So very nicely done. McEwen is going to have a little look at the double. Interestingly enough, if he had hit that and tried to roll towards the center, it probably would have been better, even though at first it seems like we don't want to roll closer to that rock, but the angle would have got steeper and steeper and steeper, which would have made the double even that much harder. Not that this is an easy one, but with the weight that McEwen can throw, this is far more makeable than it would be for a lot of people, myself included, no matter how lively the houses are. Big shot from McEwen, and he'll have some weight on it. And he does. Could be in the neighborhood of row behind, maybe. No, great shot by Mike McEwen, redeeming himself once again. A terrific shot. You can see this, and really on target pretty much all the way. Sweepers put a broom down to keep it clean. Colden gives it a half a dozen broom whacks, and no problem at all for McEwen. I say it would have been interesting actually had Dropkin rolled his closer to the center. It would have been a much steeper angle. Didn't think of that maybe at first, but I didn't think of it at first. He may have thought of it and figured he was in as good as anywhere else to be. So now for Korey Dropkin, he needs to make sure here that he gets the blank. You don't really want to have to be forced to one, even though it's the fourth end. Not maybe the end of the world to score one here, but you don't want to score one by accident, if you will. Even he will. So Korey Dropkin picks up one, like it or not. And we'll tie this one up at 2 as we go to the fourth end break here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. And you're watching on Curling Stadium.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
So we're back here, tied at 2 after 4 at this RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. It's been pretty wide open affair. Hasn't been a lot of rocks in play. There's been some, but it hasn't been a lot. The only real good chance of the 2 came in the last end until Mike McEwen made a cross-house double to force Korey Dropkin to a hit, which he ended up staying on. And as a result, a 2-2 tie. My name's Jim Nixon. I want to first thank everybody for staying with us here. I know the first couple hands were certainly a little rocky. The production team working hard to try to get everything back in line and working better. And we are making strides in that direction for sure. So we thank you for hanging in and continuing to watch. And we'll work hard to make sure that we bitch you the best production that we can do. So a few more rocks in play here, possibly, at least for the start. A couple of yellow guards in the center area, one right on the line and one not quite on the line, but Daniel Marsh. Keep saying Daniel. We're not 100% sure. Somebody told me the yellow stopwatch was Daniel. If anybody out there in YouTube land knows for sure, let me know, because I would like to get it right. Used to be able to tell sometimes they didn't wear the same color gloves, but we're not able to do that now because they both have white. They used to wear different color gloves, I should say. So a very nice shot, whatever, whether it was Daniel or Kevin. Very nice shot. Korey Dropkin coming around. Andrew Stapera, second stone. Got to go to get this one there. Got to go hard. Need to be a little further than that. Will he get to the corner of the red? Not quite. So if you want some guards to work with, Dropkin's got them. And Mike McEwen, even though they're sitting two at the moment, I'm sure is contemplating whether or not he wants all these yellow rocks to be in play. And it looks like perhaps not. No, he's going to draw after all. So after all that, it looks like McEwen's going to go with a peel on the two lower ones. Kind of understand, because the high one's so far out, it's probably not much of a problem. And he will get at least one. He only got one, but the good news is he didn't take his own out in getting it. It was possible he might do that. Sapera with his second. Trying to make the hit on the rock on the center line. Did he sneak it by? I don't know if he will. No. That's that dreaded worst outcome, is when you just touch. It almost always is a bad thing. When you just make a little bit of contact, you don't remove anything. Not that they were looking to remove their own stone, but same time, you want to make sure you create some space there. McEwen now will come in. The intern. So Marsh. This looks like he's going to throw it to just about exactly where they wanted it. He overcurl a little bit. Yeah, that was probably there. Hit the top one pretty thin. I think you have to make some kind of a play on it. Here it's getting a little bit red looking in the house there. So a hit here for Thomas Howell. I don't know if everybody's quite on the same page on this or not. Guys are thinking about maybe hitting the higher red stone. Not higher by much, but a little bit higher, and then just staying on top of the other one. I don't know if that's there. It might be there, but you may not get rid of the red that you're hitting first. And you definitely need to do that. It's close. Kind of what the shot I thought that they might play, but with real takeout weight, so box went out. Throw that same shot, throw it a little bit harder, stays a little bit straighter, and at least one, if not both of those stones go out of the rings. I'm not so sure that was the best call there. I think it was really tough. If he was trying to hit it and sit on top, that was really tough. That's a good shot for Flash. Korey Dropkin might have to do the out-turn come around here, because he just can't afford to give up 2 or 3 right now. It's looking like it's going to be difficult not to give up 3. Get something here. What will he get? Can he get 3? Just wait till that comes out and see. Oh, he did get rid of 2. Left 3, but looks a little better than it did. Flash with a little bump. Well, Dropkin definitely a chance to make a double here. And maybe get even a little bit of an inside roll. So Korey Dropkin might escape this end yet without too much damage. Couple of big shots coming up for Korey Dropkin. Really needs to get out of this end without a, would like to get out of this end without a deuce. And certainly needs to get out of this end with no more than a deuce. So that starts by making this double. Really close. Over curling for that one, but did get the other double. Rolled a lot further than he would like to roll, I'm sure. Now it really curled on them. I don't know if he helped it along or not, but it definitely curled quite hard. I thought he could actually catch the back one, make that double and stay behind the guard even, but apparently not. McEwen now looking to put one in the 8-foot area and have it be probably a little bit buried, but not much. And if he can make a good shot, there's a really good chance of getting a deuce. Flash doing some cleaning. The line's obviously not too bad. Starting to curl. And it ends up pretty darn good. Korey Dropkin not going to go after it. He's going to play the draw. It's a big shot for Korey Dropkin in this game. If he ever hits this or draws to this and just rubs and rolls off, gives up 3, the game will be pretty close to being over. So it has to be perfect. Sweepers are on it, but they didn't go real hard right out of his hand, so he must be close. Looks like he's got enough room. Needs to curl. A little break here. Now needs to have enough weight to get there, and it will just get there for number 2. That might not be good enough. Looking at the overhead, there's plenty of room for getting that out between the two reds, but when you look at it this way, it maybe looks a little bit tighter. You don't really want to hit that red with this one because it, like if you hit the yellow one, it's touching the center line. If you do run it a little bit left and it hits the red, it could go back in the direction of your other one. I don't think it would ever take it out, but it would go that way. Mike McEwen with a shot for 3 here in end number 5. This A-Division game at the RBC Western Dominion, or RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Won't flash on this hard all the way. And looks like he will keep it out there. Will it stay? I don't think it will. Not quite. Did spin in a bit, but not enough. So it's looking like a score of 2 for Mike McEwen in the 5th end to take a 4-2 lead after 5 here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We will join you after the break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So a good shot by Mike McEwen at the end of the 5th end, and a great sweep by Colton Flash. Managed to get them a 2 and take a 4-2 lead here into end number 6. Big end for Korey Dropkin, almost a must to score 2 here. See Mike win in the rings with Marsh, and then a corner guard went up by Dropkin. On the other side going up by Korey Dropkin, so we're not necessarily buying into the double stack corner guards yet. Good job by Fenner. 2 corner guards, perfect. Well apart, lined up, and even. Guard going up for Team McEwen. Very nice job. Might be a little closer to the rings than they liked it. Good double there. So the key here when you're down, you're putting your corner guards up. You've got to remove a lot of rocks after that, and you don't get a lot, an unlimited number of chances to do so. So when you have an opportunity to make a double like that, you pretty much have to make it, or you just don't get back in the game. Yeah, that's a good guard. Oh, Dropkin's going to play a draw here. Can't say I really saw that coming. Team dropping. Thinking about this one a little bit, and they've topped it away from the draw. I'm going to play a run back on the yellow with some weight. It's going to be really close, I think. Great shot. Terrific shot by Andrew Stapera. McEwen's got basically the same shot back. You see this, they started, swept a little bit early, and then just came off, and a little bit of touch at the end to make sure it curled enough, and ends up being perfect. Great shot. And he'll make this one. So back-to-back run backs. This one, might hang on. And it's going to spin back. Seems like a little thing, but it's maybe a big deal if it comes down to Dropkin being able to blank or not. He's going to be still going hard for his 2, so chances are a blank wouldn't be a possibility anyway, but on the draw around the corner for Thomas Howell. needs to curl. It's a long ways out there. It will curl nicely behind the corners, but that's just a little bit far out. You don't really want to sweep it anymore because it's going deep. Not bad, but would have been much better if it was higher and a little tighter. Quick look around the rings while Mike's pondering down there. Dunstone's leading Crothers 3-2 in the 6th. Jacobs, or Epping rather, hammering Brad Jacobs 11-2. And that's a final after 5. Kelly Knapp has a 5-2 lead over Height. And that's final as well, so something probably happened in that game that busted it open and we just don't have to show it on the board yet. And Gushu has an 8-5 lead in the 7th over Sampson from the US. Pretty high scoring affair there as well. That brings you pretty much up to date. Reminder too, we will have continuing coverage of every game in the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. A lot of them with commentary, some without. And that will hang on. So a bit of a break for Dropkin. The only problem is everything is way at the back of the house, which means McEwen could draw around countless number of rocks and make it difficult for Dropkin to activate those rocks at the back. So hit and stick here for Thomas Howell. Coming into the house here now. We'll roll a little bit, didn't lose the other one. That was a break. Or potential break. Anyway, it was looked like it might catch a piece of the yellow on the way out. McEwen now with an out-turn draw behind a wall of rocks, which probably should take most of the back markers out of play. But a couple of those guards out front are Dropkin stones, and one well-thrown run back could bring everything back into play. Just a little bit of sweeping on this. Now Colton's going a little bit harder just to make sure that he does clear that guard. Now both guys going to take this to the back. So there's the shot that, as expected, Mike McEwen would make and pretty much eliminates those rocks in the back. Dropkin still may consider playing a run back here. Make the double on the 2 at the back and sit 2. He does need 2. The out-turn draw is the other shot, and just make sure you're above the tee line. You need to get a little piece of the 4-foot. You have to be shot rock when you're done. Or pretty much have to be shot rock when you're done. Welcome all the viewers that might have been watching the 2 games that have ended early. Got a close one here. McEwen and Dropkin. Not much separating these two teams in this game. Korey Dropkin. Outturn draw. As I say, you definitely want this above the tee line. You need it fully buried, and you need it above the tee line, and it needs to be shot rock. So put all three of those together, and there's still a good chance to score 2 here for the Dropkin squad. Line looks really good. And the weight is perfect as well. So great shot for Korey Dropkin. Might have went a little tiny bit deeper than they needed to go, but they also wanted to bury it. Just if McEwen were to come down and sit on this one, it might be very difficult for Korey Dropkin to score 2. Or if he throws a guard, it might be very difficult to score 2. They're going to have a little chat about it. Once again, the winner of these games go on to the A qualifier games. Is that right? Check that. Yeah, these 3 teams, and then the winner of Pierce and Claytor, who play later today, probably right after this game actually, would be the 4th team to be in the, we'll call the semifinals to get to the A qualifiers. Two teams will come out of A for the playoff round. And 3 more out of B and 3 more out of C. Long way to go here. Men just started yesterday morning. The women started on Thursday morning. They will conclude on Sunday. And the men started Friday morning, and they will conclude on Monday. So Mike McEwen playing the outturn. This one looks pretty good. Line's pretty good. Needs to come in a little bit. Well, I don't think that's quite the result Mike thought he could get. This is very interesting. You must figure he can't get to the inside of the red stone for 2. So a draw through the port on the intern side, which should get him to the button if he gets through the port. Threw perfect weight on his first shot, so if he can find that exact same weight and then find the hole, he should be able to get us 2 here and tie this thing up, which would be a big deuce for Korey Dropkin in the 6th end. Tough to get everything right on this, though. It's not a very big hole. I guess I was mistaken. I guess they were playing the Rays on the yellow. That was going to be very tough also. But he does pick up one. So after 6 ends of play, Team McEwen leads Team Dropkin by a score of 4-3 here in Swift Current. We'll be back right after the break.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So, what a game-saving draw, but certainly an end-saving draw by Mike McEwen here in the 6th. Keeps the score to 1 for Korey Dropkin. Made it very tough for Korey to get 2, and he didn't manage to execute his raise on his last shot. So 4-3 lead for McEwen over Dropkin, and Dropkin's in that tough position now where you got to go hard to steal 7 and steal 8 to win, which is really tough. The other alternative is you give up a single here and then you steal 2 and 8 and 1 and 9 to win. Or I guess in a 1 in 100 times you score 3 and win in the 8th. So I think you'll see them go really hard here. Actually gonna have to go really hard just on this rock to get it over the hog line. It's gonna be iffy. I don't think he's getting there. Very big miss. Mark Fenner, who had such perfect weight on a couple of corner guards at the last end, was not good on that one. His first one was really good. Not getting that one over hurts. McEwen having Marsh just do the out-turn draw right around the yellow. Yeah, a very nice shot. Dropkin now with a dilemma. You could run this straight back and leave you gotta be dead straight, but you could leave it behind your guard. I'm gonna play the freeze. I like the freeze on the other angle, on the in-turn side better, but They like this one. It's a good shot. Quickly updating the other games that remain on the ice. Greek Carruthers scored 2 and 6 to take a 4-3 lead over Dunstone. I already mentioned that Epping beat Jacobs. Knapp is up. Knapp beat Height, and Gushu up 8-6 with Hammer playing the 8th. A good peel for McEwen. See that the draw by Dropkin's on a, perfect draw, really, exactly what he called. They feel like if you put that on the other side, or at least on the nose, that it would be better eventually, because it's going to take you 2 shots to get those out now. Andrews Stupera on the guard. They got to work on this one a bit too. I'd like to get it over a little bit more than that. Not going to be. Question for McEwen is whether you go after the rock in the house or you go after the guard. He's going to peel a high one. High one, the only one, I guess, the only guard out there. Very easily. Howling out. Guard back. Just not quite sure how Dropkin's going to get rid of both those red stones right now. It's got me wondering a little bit. McEwen playing the peel again. Flash. It's going to be close to missing this, but he gets a piece. That's all you need. So we're down to 3 rocks to come. Dropkin looking at maybe playing a come around those, which is not a bad call if there's only one of them there, or if they line up differently, but the way it is right now, it's literally going to take 2 shots to get rid of both those reds. Play a split on the yellows, sort of the shot we talked about the last game, where your yellows go into the 8-foot, both rocks go into the 8-foot, but on on opposite sides, and McEwen has to hit them, has to hit one of them, and you could make the double with a little luck somewhere along the way. Maybe get the force at this point. You're not really looking like you're going to steal. So Howell once again. Tight guard goes up by Howell, actually comes into the rings. That might have been possibly on purpose, though. This team, Dropkin's sort of grasping a little bit, trying to figure out how to make this all work. So Flash looking to peel off the high yellow. And he will get that. Not too much trouble. And the Red Rock stays in the rings. Be hard for Dropkin to get out of this here. A lot of good options here. A lot of discussion here about what to do, and it's just hard when there's not a lot of good options, even just to prevent a game-ending situation here for McEwen. I don't even think I have a recommendation on the shot. This is just really tough. I still might just go with my original thought of splitting the two yellows. You've got to find a way to be able to get rid of both reds in one shot, because you're not going to play that now, so you've got to find a way to do that. Now, whether that's to bump one of them somewhere and hope for the chance to make a double, that's fine. I just think you've got to be thinking about that for sure, because if you can't make the double by playing whatever shot you're playing, you can't make the double on the next shot, then you just can't score. So. Dropkin trying to avoid his first loss in our spiel. A little bit. So I don't think he's playing to split the yellow, but I do think he's playing to tap the middle red. So interesting. Not a terrible shot. Might leave them a little bit of an opportunity here to get out of this. Let's see what Mike's playing here. Looks like he's just going to go after the yellow at the back of the house. Eliminate that one. And Korey Dropkin probably plays the double. Raise on the reds. He may not play it as that double. He may just play it as a tap, but you got to tap both rocks too far, so I don't think that's really there. They're doing some cleanup on the ice here. Not usually that much cleanup to do. So they must have had something that was scraping or whatever, maybe stirred up a little tiny bit of snow. Or ice pellets or scrapings or whatever you want to call that. It's on its way. Just a nice lightweight hit. No problem for Mike McEwen. Remove that one. Even with the lead, you don't always have to throw every take out real hard. Well, I'm not sure what the call is, but they certainly aren't taking long to call it. Can't give up 3 here. Can't give up 2 here. So you either have to steal 1 or force to 1. That's the problem. He's taking a lot of ice here, so it looks like he's only playing a gentle sort of tap in there, tap or tap and roll, tap, roll, and guard kind of thing. This would take a great shot to not have McEwen have a relatively simple double, or maybe not even a double, relatively simple takeout for a multiple score here. Dropkin's got it on the way. It's not much more than a little tap, really. Just got to make sure that Mike's not sitting 2 when it's all done. Okay. It's not bad. Not bad at all. The only bad part about it is he can probably, because he can throw it so hard, he can probably make the double without it jamming, or even if it jams, it hits the red one there. You just saw there where Flash says you hit it hard, it goes there, hits the red, but the red still goes out. So it's gonna be tough for it to not be a 3, 4, or 5 ender by the time it's all done. So shot of the game so far coming up for Mike McEwen here in the 7th end of our RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown I keep saying A qualifier, A division game. To get to the A qualifier game for McEwen. This one will have a little bit of speed on it. An outturn. Outturn just a hair high off a nose would be a perfect and probably score 5. Looks like he's going to be pretty good. Just needs to curl up a little tiny bit, but it may not yet. And it does. So Mike McEwen will pick up 4 here in the 7th end, and he will end up with an 8-3 victory over Korey Dropkin. So we have an interesting game here today. It was really quite close all the way, obviously, until this end. Some really good shots, a few misses, and a few odd calls as well, but there always is. That's why the game is so much fun, the subjectivity of it all. But at the end of the day, McEwen goes to 2-0. Dropkin drops to 1-1. And we thank you all for viewing. We thank our sponsors for helping us out, and also for all of you guys that stayed with us through a little bit of rough production at the start. We thank you as well. This is Jim Nix saying goodbye for now from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. And we'll be back again later on.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's Ice Bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.